Vedesangavadakramapanishade Gayantiyam Samaga Dhyānāvastitadadghatena manasa Pashyantiyam yoginaha Syantam navidassurasuragana Devaya tasmai namaha. Those of you who have come for the camp, this is 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, so just listen to it what it is, but I'll take it for the sort of, those who are coming for the camp, tomorrow onwards your classes will begin, but just enjoy it what it is. Now please read these verses. Last few verses, finish it up. Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nasanamatmanah kama krodhastatha lobah tasmadetattrayam tyajed eteir vimukta kaunteya tamodvarais tribhi narah acaratyatmana shreyah tato yati param gatim trividham narakasyedam dvaram nasanamatmanah kama krodhastatha lobah tasmadetattrayam tyajed eteir vimukta kaunteya tamodvarais tribhi narah acaratyatmana shreyah tato yati param gatim. So, as you are seeing the two types of people, one is genuine, other is fake. Like you can say, it looks same, like fake Rolex and the original one. Imitation diamond and the real diamond. In all of us, both are there. The real is there, the fake is there. When you are not aware of yourself, you become a pretentious person. When a person is aware of himself, happy with himself, his happiness is genuine, kindness is genuine, compassion genuine, sensitivity genuine, friendship, love, affection, everything is genuine because he does not get anything out of it. Already happy with himself, nobody can contribute towards his happiness. Somebody can contribute towards your comfort or discomfort, but somebody cannot contribute towards your happiness. Somebody can make you more comfortable. Don't say it makes you more happy, because you can be always comfortable and miserable. Somebody can cause you discomfort, but doesn't make you unhappy, because that is your nature. So one who thus abides in himself and whose life's stories begin with the absolute Daivi Sampat, genuine person. The other person only pretends to be an ignorant person, pretends to be not angry, but deep within is seething inside. The ignorant person pretends to be very nice, but very calculative, manipulative inside. That is where you see the facade. The facade of goodness, but inside it is total macabre, terrible, horrible disposition. That is where you get cheated in life. It's just like you go to the beautiful beaches, white sand, blue water, so inviting. You want to jump into the stream. But then there is the big shark, the white one is lurking. The moment you see that white shark, you want to disappear. You don't want to be anywhere near that. Same thing also, lovely forest. You want to go for a walk, but the tiger is inside. Beautiful facade, Mr. Universe, Miss Universe, but inside crocodiles, elephants, lions and tigers. You run away from the person. The ignorant person cannot avoid this false facade because he becomes a pretentious because, as we saw yesterday, he himself is a lie. Therefore, he cannot stop living lies. The very individuality itself is a lie. Therefore, everything shall be pretentious. Like you see in the world, other day somebody sent me a nice story. Like you see in the world, everybody wants to, look like somebody, Hey, you look like Abraham Lincoln. Huh? Or somebody says, I look like Churchill. Like that, you want to, similarity. You want to look like a big man, So, that one fellow said, what is this? You are looking like Abraham Lincoln, Churchill, all that. I look like God. He said, what do you mean I look like God? He said, look, the other day when I went to the jail for the 4th time, all the people told me there, God, you have come here for 4th time. So I look like God, you see. Just nonsense. Anyway, so this is what it is. People, they like to look like somebody, but they are not that somebody. You look like compassionate, you look like kind, especially when you meet first time. How do you behave with people? Strangers, how do you behave? Oh, Mr. Kindness, Mr. Sensitivity, Miss Flawless. But after a few days, fangs out, hoods open. The whole thing collapses. The reality has come out to the fore. So a genuine person, that's a Daivi Sampati is genuine. I'm happy because I'm the happiness itself. I'm kind because I don't have any expectations. I don't feel exploited. I don't feel hurt. Therefore, I cannot hurt people. Natural, spontaneous. Noble, virtuous qualities are spontaneous to the wise person. You don't have to practice goodness. This practice goodness sometimes fails. Most of the time fails. It's like a devotion. Very devoted to God as long as everything is going wonderful. Something goes wrong, God floats in the river. It's like a faith. I have all the faith as long as everything is nice. When everything goes away, your faith also gone. That is because it's not something genuine. So, a person who thus sees himself as he is, Daivi Sampat, divine dispensations, lovely mood, every thought is beautiful, life is beautiful. Whereas Asura Sampat, Asura, the person who is Asura, meaning not aware of himself, but his security, his pleasure lies at the level of the pranic activities, organs of action activities, hands, legs, all that stuff, and sense organ activities, perception, sensation of all kinds. That person cannot escape being a false entity, cannot escape being somebody who is deceptive, manipulative, because you have to, if your happiness depends on something, listen carefully, if your happiness depends on something, you shall try your best to possess it. Not only you shall try to possess it, but plan in such a way others are dispossessed. They don't get it. You shall get it, others shall not get it. So you shall plan in such a way, the other person runs away. So you have to be deceptive because it comes from insecurity. 99% people in this world are like that, total ignorance. And if you are like that, you cannot escape the suffering here. You shall create a lovely little hell for yourself while living here. Why? He gives you the reason. Trividham narakasya idam dwaram atmanaha nasanam. I mean, the language is absolutely glorious. Atmanaha nasanam. This is the program for self-destruct. You want to destroy yourself? Unconsciously, you don't have to. Unconsciously, people, in the name of pleasure, they are really quoting pain. Like the person says, I love to drink alcohol, marching towards alcoholism. I enjoy sweet, marching towards diabetes. I enjoy overeating. After some time, you are dead. Sort of disease, sickness, difficulty. I love to lie down like a couch potato. Slowly, your whole limbs start deteriorating. Anything that is very, very comfortable, you think you are going to get pleasure. But when you don't know how to enjoy, listen carefully, when you don't know how to enjoy, that enjoyment becomes your death. Swimming is great, but if you don't know how to swim, water is wonderful, water is a sport. But if you don't know how to swim, you sink. You get into water. You want to have fun, you get into water, but you don't know how to swim. You sink. It's not a mistake of the water. You went for pleasure, but you ended up dying. Same thing in a human relationship. You get into a human relationship. I love him, I love her. I like him, I like her. You want to get involved, but slowly you are completely destroyed because you don't know how to get out of it. It's literally as if the person playing, getting into water and starts sinking. You start getting into a relationship and you start sinking. You can't get out of it, you cannot get further. You don't know what to do. So this is where comes, you create unconsciously, in the name of hunting for pleasure, you are creating your little hell. That is what is narakasya dwaram atmanaha nasanam. Both words in Sanskrit. Narakasya dwaram means you are opening the gateway for the hell. Hell means, naraka means suffering. Where? Here, not after death. After death, don't worry about it. After death, what happens? As I say many times, most people are interested. Swamiji, what happens after death? Why are you worried? Know what happens before death. Before death is more realistic than after death. After death, who knows? Even if I tell something, you have to only believe. Can you verify? But here, the study, when you do the understanding of yourself, you can verify right here and now. What is pain, what is pleasure, what is happiness, what is unhappiness. All that we shall see, these fundamentals from tomorrow onwards, we shall see that classes for the camp. Anyway, just please see. Here, you can verify for yourself. You can create for yourself a little hell. You can also be in the heavens. Atmanaha nasanam, where you destroy yourself. How do I do that? These are the three. He gives you the address. How exactly you manage to get into hell? How do you manage to destroy yourself? Unconsciously, of course. Because consciously, when you get into a trouble, it is not a trouble. Because you know how to get out of it. That is why there is no such, definite do's and don'ts. Don't say, wise man never looks at things. Who said that? He knows how to look at it. Looking or not looking, his choice. Don't say he doesn't look. Doesn't do these things. No, don't worry. Doing or not doing is his choice. When you are happy with yourself, you are consciously doing something, the choice is yours to do or not to do, to see or not to see. Anywhere you can withdraw, any time you can cut it. And see, anyway, he will explain now. What are the three ones? The three gates are Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Kama, lust, passion, desire. And the Krodha is anger. Lobha is greed. These three things, think of it. These three emotions, Kama, desires, ultimately the most important desire is lust. Lust. It's a sexual, physical desire. We'll see that. Already seen it, but you'll see that. But this is where you can see. Striyadi Vishaya, Purushadi Vishaya, Stri Purusha, man, woman, human relationship. That is the most confusing thing. You don't get jealous for a TV. You do get, but you don't kill somebody for that. Some people also do that. In a human relationship, the worst type of emotions comes into manifestations. Suspicion, jealousy, hatred, manipulation, anger, and that lasts for sometimes lifetime. Not for a day, it can be lifetime. You can be so angry that anger lingers on you. Hatred lingers on you. And sometimes also, if you are hurt in life, in a relationship, emotionally, when you are hurt, that lingers such a long time, you cannot relate to another person anymore. Becomes so difficult. Because you think every woman is a crook or every man is deceptive. Total generalization. Just because you have got one sad relationship or something affected you, you completely said, never again. It is just like eating a chili. Suppose it really gave you some stomach ache. When you look at it, you don't want to touch it. Why? No more chili. Understand? So this happens any time in life. And human relationship is the, if you don't know how to, if you know how to handle it, there is nothing better than the heavenly relationship. And if you do not know how to handle it, there is no greater hell. So human relationship is neither good nor bad. It's you. If you know how to do it, excellent. If you don't know how to handle it, you are sinking, like any other thing. So we shall see now. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Etatrayam, Narakasya Dwaram. These are the gateway for suffering. The first step is Kama, desire. So, the moment you listen to this, immediately you shall look down upon yourself. Hey, I am stupid, I have so many desires. Please watch out. A thought by itself, a desire by itself is not wrong. Please know, a genuine person, a happy man, contented person also have desire. Listen carefully. It's a very simple, very subtle. Please watch out. A happy person, contented person also can have a desire. But the desire, you shall know you are a genuine person, a happy person, awakened person, conscious of yourself, when you shall see, even when the desires are not fulfilled, it does not turn into anger. That is your taste. Because desires you cannot escape. Are you getting that point? Life means you cannot escape desires. If you have no desire now, you are now fit to be buried underground. What is the difference between a living me and non-living me? Where the person is thinking. So desiring is not a crime, understand? Ambition is not a crime. Most people in the name of religion shall say what? Should not be ambitious. Who said that? Sky is the limit. Infinity you are. Therefore, desiring is not a problem. But ask yourself the question, if the desire is not fulfilled, are you angry? Not are you angry. If you are unconsciously getting angry, you are otherwise. You are not wise. Okay. And when it is fulfilled, if there is a greater desire to get more and more and more, insatiable, then you shall be again a miserable person. The one when you are happy with yourself, you have a desire, fulfilled, excellent. Not fulfilled, excellent. Continue. At no time you fall down. Are you getting that point, please? When somebody was asked, he fell down from some 15 feet height tree he was climbing and he fell down. When he fell down from the tree, somebody asked him, how was that? How was that? He said, falling was not bad, but when I fell on the ground, that was bad. The falling was glorious, but fallen. Desiring any type of thing, you understand. As long as you are just falling, somehow you are thinking you are moving. When you hit the ground, that is the time it becomes painful. Because as long as you are falling, you still have a hope, maybe it will stop. But when it is, that is the time it becomes very painful. So falling, understand. So if the person knows, one who is aware of himself, he knows how the thought begins, how the thought becomes a desire, how the desire becomes very strong desire, everything he knows. Fulfilled, he goes back to himself. Unfulfilled, it should not bother, doesn't affect him. He's a different person altogether. So when you say these three things, don't suddenly therefore say, next line you say, etat trayam tyajet, may you give up the three. So immediately it gets into the people's head that if you are a wise person, you should have no kama, no desire, no anger, no greed. Then you struggle. Do I have desire? Yes. How can I be wise? Wrong. These are literal interpretations where you shall always go wrong. You must know who is talked, what is talked about. Kama, if fulfilled, doesn't develop into greed, insatiable greed, or when it is not fulfilled, suppose you are not angry, then that desire is no problem. Desire for desire's sake, never desire for a happiness sake. Are you getting that? Desire for desire's sake, a thing for thing's sake. As we saw in the earlier chapters, Tato yuddhaya ujjasva naiva papam says, hey Arjuna, fight for fighting's sake. Don't fight for pleasure's sake. Fight for fighting's sake. Car for car's sake. Gold for gold's sake. Diamond for diamond's sake. Watch for watch's sake. Land for land's sake. Institution for institution's sake. Teaching for teaching's sake. But when I teach only I am happy. You shall be miserable if nobody is there. Some people get so addicted to the talk, like a verbal diarrhea. They cannot stop talking. If there is nobody, the fellow will be talking to mirror. It's a waste. Because the person becomes so dependent on that. Anything for its own sake. Life for life's sake. I'm alive. Body is alive, I'm alive. Body is going, go. Why? You are with yourself. That is the absolute knowledge. Please appreciate. Anyway, we shall see that. So, the kama, krodhas, tatha, lobha, these three are the dwaram. What is that kama? That desire where it starts building up. You have already seen it in second chapter, okay? Desire starts building up. When it starts building up, it becomes unconscious built up. For the ignorant person, unconscious built up is something which he cannot escape. That is why most people, before they know, they are already under the spell of a strong built-up. Before they know. Suddenly they are feeling attractive. When you are feeling attracted, it doesn't happen suddenly. It has happened a long time back. But now only you are recognizing it. Unconscious living. And then, when the anger is, some people cannot recognize at the level of desire itself. When the anger comes up, then only they shall know, oh, why that person is becoming angry? Because you have unconsciously built up expectations. That is why you are angry. But the person doesn't know it. You think anger is a sudden burst of emotion? No. Anger is long pending. It has started with the first thought. An unconscious built-up has started, and that built-up does not match with the outside. That is why anger comes. Like when people discuss, argue, what happens? My stand, your stand. If you do not accept my stand, I get angry. Why? All my thoughts will be useless. I am putting up a standpoint. You are completely dismissing the standpoint. Do you know what you are doing? When you are completely dismissing the standpoint, now I am uncomfortable with my thoughts because my thoughts are irrelevant. And since I am ignorant and I find my security in my thought and I think I know everything, whatever I say is right, with that type of delusion bubble, I am living inside. So the other person logically destroys it, your bubble bursts. So you are explode inside. Are you getting that point, please? Clearly see. It's all inside you. And don't say when God is sending some special hell for you. Huh? Nonsense. There is no heaven and hell. It is you create it. The same situation. Some person can live so happily. Lovely climate, beautiful sunshine, greenery, so nice. Other person says, so hot. So many trees are there, so many mosquitoes there. Same situation. One person enjoys, other person suffers. Please see that. Unconsciously it happens because your bubble bursts inside. Anger does not happen immediately, please know. And when you are obsessed by the desire, you are isolated. You shall not move with anybody. That is why you can see people when they are, fallen in love, sort of somewhere they have got an affair or love or something, little thing, they're so obsessed with it, they'll be very isolated. They will not talk to anybody. They will not do anything with anybody. Why? Because isolated. All the time the person remains isolated. It's like a person wants to drink at 6 o'clock. 4 o'clock onwards, you will not meet with anybody. Morning 7 o'clock onwards, somebody asks, can you come this evening to the program? 6 o'clock, very busy. Busy with what? The date with the drinks. The whole life will be moving around that. You are obsessed. Because you are obsessed, you shall be isolating yourself. Kama isolates you. Krodha again isolates you. Anger also isolates you. Because when you are angry, you are so angry, you don't know what you are doing. The worst part of it is when you justify your anger. Ignorant man will justify his anger. If you point it out, he becomes more angry. You are irrational, but somebody points out your irrational behavior, you get more angry because you think that is very rational. So what do? That is the time you leave the people alone because let them be what they want to do. Krodha, anger comes up. Then lobha, greed. We saw the previous idam adhyamaya labdha. Today I got this, tomorrow I shall get that. A never-ending mirage. So much lost in that, the person does not know that he has been doing it for such a long time, but still he is not fulfilled. That awareness doesn't come. That is why when you come across some type of a problem in life, a crisis in life, that really becomes a wake-up call. Sometimes a death happens. Sometimes suffering comes. Sometimes people run away from you. When something somewhere, disease comes, when that becomes a wake-up call. My God, what is going on? What am I doing here? Why am I getting so angry? Why am I so jealous? Why am I like this? When you start thinking, that is where the river of your life takes a turn toward the source. In Indian culture in subcontinent, you shall see, when you go to Ganges, go to Yamuna, go to any river for that matter, wherever the river takes a turn, they put it becomes a holy place. Symbolizing, whenever the river is going toward its source, the river of life is as though begins with infinity. Whenever it takes a turn toward the source, becomes a holy moment, very auspicious for you. Even if there is a crisis, because somebody died, you take a pause. Because you are diseased, you take a pause. Because you are deceived, you take a pause. Your relationship destroyed, you take a pause and start thinking, what is this? That is most auspicious moment of your life. That is not inauspicious. Because the suffering wakes you up. Denial wakes you up. So don't try to resolve it and go ahead straight. Take a turn. Go to the source. And once you go to the source, where is the river? In all directions. That is where your life is a total happy existence. So narakasya, anyway, these are the kama, krodha, tatha, lobha, etad dwaram. These are the three gateways. Who has created these gates? Who is the architect of those gates? God. God only giving me this, God has nothing to do. Right? Satan, some idiot, some negative words. None of these fellows, don't worry. You are the Rakshas. You are the Asura. You are the devil. You are the God. Don't worry. Both are in you. You create your own gate. Yes. As a child, when you do it, you are unconscious. As ignorant person, when you do it, you are also unconscious. That is why, as you grow in life, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, this knowledge must be given. You cannot be a sleepwalker, a somnambulist through life. Can't be sleepwalking through life. 14, 15, 16, 50, 60, still sleepwalking through life. Like a child is crying for the ice cream, you are going on crying for a gold or a diamond. The child is crying for something, you are crying for something else. Crying has not stopped. You are always crying, crying, crying. Somewhere it must stop. So as you are growing up in life, this idea must be given. As to what are these thoughts, what are these ideas, that is why these self-knowledge classes, which tomorrow onwards, very, very fundamental, so we shall see that. So these three, kama, desire happens. As a child, it is helpless. Should you be a helpless victim of a built-up inside when you are 15, 20, 30, 40? We are given all the knowledge about the world. We are given every information about the outside world. But inner mechanism, how does it happen? How these moods happen? How these emotions happen? How this anger, hatred, jealousy built up? Nobody teaches us in the school, college, university. They give us enough material to build up our own castle or prison. They give us enough material to imprison ourselves. More educated you are, more demanding you are. More educated you are, more sensitive, therefore more hurt in life. Uneducated person, not that uneducated person, wonderful. He doesn't have much information, therefore less demand. You have got more information, more demand. That is why educated person feels that he is so cursed. He shall always be jealous of ordinary people, sitting down under a tree with no anxiety. You start thinking, why my life is like that? You cannot go back to that state, but understand about yourself. So as even we are studying, we must be given this mechanism, how these things happen. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. And that takes into account Mada, Moha, Mascharya, pride, arrogance, jealousy, every emotion, which you have seen elaborately. So these are the three. Understand the beginning. Kama is the beginning. Desire is the beginning. And in the desire for two things. When you are a child, you start with desiring inanimate object. I want a balloon, I want a toy, I want ice cream, I want a cricket bat, I want a baseball, I want this car, that car, inanimate things. When you are 15, 16, 17, 18, you start desiring animate object. Another man, another woman. Once you get into that trap, inanimate things makes no difference for you much. Why? Nothing more interesting than a human relationship. That is why this kama is a peculiar word. It means simple desire. Kama also means lust, sexual lust. Both the same word, kama. Kama Sutra. You have seen, heard of Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra does not mean desire. Kama Sutra there means about the human sexual physical relationship. So the kama is a peculiar word. As a child, you have got a kama, desire, for the inanimate object. That also creates a little problem. But when you get into animate object, another man or woman, you kill each other, billions can be left behind. You kill yourself, you commit suicide. Your car is left out, your house, your bank balance, everything is left behind. But you commit suicide. Why? Another man or another woman. Are you seeing the power of the lust? And who has empowered the lust? Lust has no power. You have empowered it. That is why you are in trouble. Object does not come and wink at me. No object come and push the desire into me. Take me home, take me home. No. A living thing can push you. A car will not come. A car will not wink at you and say, there's light go, what happened? Take me home. Huh? The dipper doesn't work for the car. Come home, take me home. No. But a woman, a man, one look, one word, so suggestive, you are paralyzed. You don't know what to do. And for that little something, oh, you can kill somebody, kill yourself. Life also means nothing. And once the life is gone, you understand how meaningless the entire material achievement becomes. Your empire is left behind. You are gone. So which is more strong? The simple desire or the lust? And who has empowered it? You. So you create your own little gateway for the hell. More efficient architect you are, greater misery you have. Do not hold the world responsible. And the day you take responsibility, you shall smile for the rest of your life. Because to get in or not to get in is your choice. Nothing forces you. Nothing forces you. Don't say, even a man forced me, woman, nonsense. They give a suggestion. Somebody can throw a suggestion. As they say, throwing a line. Somebody can throw a line. Swallow the bet is your choice. If you don't swallow, who bothers? Please. Ishvara. It starts with a simple desire, but it ends up with complicated krodha, lobha and other things. Okay? That is why you suffer. That is the asura jivana. Painful living. In other words, in your life, if there is a lot of pain, if there is a lot of misery, if there is a lot of anxiety, you better take a second look at yourself instead of looking at the world and analyzing people and analyzing things. Look at yourself. Understand? If you have, please see friends, if you have a physical pain, do you check your body or send your son for the medical checkup? If you have physical pain, will you send your wife or your husband or your child go for a checkup and come? Why? I don't know. Why am I getting asthmatic? But what do we do in our life? We put everybody into test. We put everybody on the chopping board. Everybody else is chopped. Why is he behaving like that? Why is he talking like that? Why is he looking like this? Never the fool thinks, why am I reacting like this? Like an allergy test. When an allergy test you do, the garlic is bad or you are allergic? In an allergy test, are you getting that point? In an allergy test, the things are bad or your body is deficient. Your immune system is deficient. Something wrong with you or something wrong with the vegetable. With the same vegetable, everybody eats. But your tongue is so thick. There is one man, believe me, if he eats mango, his nose becomes this big. I'm not telling you a joke. He came to our ashram and we have the best mangoes in the world. But I was cutting, I said, take one piece. No, Swamiji, I don't want to touch mango. Why? What will happen? Allergic. This nose becomes red and big. There is another person, he came, nuts. Allergic to any nut. Everything you have to tell him, almost paralyzed, that variety. Even in a cashew nut in the biscuit, the person gets thick leaf and breathing becomes difficult. So, shall we ban cashew nut from the world? Mangoes from the world? Change your system. What do we try to do always? People must thrown out. People must change. So, I can be as I am. Then you will be alone. You understand that? The moment to appreciate it, this is how. Etai vimukta kaunteya tamasdvara trivinara acharati atmanashraya. One who is free from this, etai vimukta, free from these three, lust, desire, that anger and greed. When free from these three means what? Listen carefully. Free from these three means the three don't exist or you are nowhere involved. Listen, when you are free from the prison disappears or you get out. Are you getting that point? When you are free from these thoughts, free from these emotions, does the emotion disappear or you are disappear? Are you getting that point, please? But what do we say? You should give up anger. This is the advice. Don't be angry. What? What is wrong with anger? If you know how to use the anger, it's just like a car. You can use your car for carjacking, hijack somebody. You can use your car as an ambulance. Anger, beautiful emotion if you know how to use it. Stupid emotion if you don't know how to use it. Lust, passion, jealous, every emotion is so nice. Suppose you like somebody, just think of it. Just think of an example. You like somebody. You do that for children, don't you do that? The child becomes very jealous. Now you have got a cat. The child becomes very jealous that your attention is on the cat. So to make the child feel jealous, you play with the cat. When the child comes towards you, how do you feel? Very nice. Why? Oh, the child doesn't want me to. So the child really loves me. You can, in contrast, sometimes send a message that I like that person or I don't like that person. Any emotion you can use, even anger, any emotion you can use, but you must know how to use it. While using the emotion, if you are overpowered by it, it's a different thing altogether. You are helpless. So, ete vimukta, when you say that, free from these three emotions, you have freed yourself. You know who you are. Tasmat atmanah sreya acharati. Such a person blesses himself. Atmanah sreyas. Sreyas, absolute good. Atmanah sreya acharati. He blesses himself. Not by dismissing anything, discarding anything, denying anything, but being himself. You understand the beauty of this knowledge? Nothing is touched except you. It's like a pinhole surgery. Exactly the spot. The whole world, let it be as it is. Body as it is, mind as it is, all thoughts as they are, all everything untouched. One fellow, ahankar, I thought. It's a pinhole surgery. You touch it and help the person to know himself. When the person is aware, then eteir vimokta, emotions, are you getting that? Thoughts can exist, but doesn't affect you anymore. Body is existing, doesn't affect you anymore. Hunger is existing, doesn't affect you anymore. Please see the difference. A child is hungry. How do you say, Mommy, I want the food now. And by chance you delay it, cry, 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 cry. Now suppose one 20-year-old does the same way. How do you like it? If a 20-year-old fellow, 25-year-old fellow, 30-year-old fellow throws a tantrum, I'm very hungry. What do you say? Go to hell. Hungry? Oh, eat your food. What are you crying for? Why? The fellow is an idiot. 30-year, 40-year-old, you don't behave like that nonsense. I'm hungry. What is this? Why are you hungry? Listen carefully. The baby is crying, no, Mommy, I'm hungry, give me food. Baby cannot prepare it. Now, a grown-up baby is crying, give me happiness, I'm so hungry for happiness. One who promises you is a charlatan, that he shall give you happiness, or somebody will make you happy. And if you are crying for happiness, you shall be also miserable. Understand? If the child cries for happiness, cries for something, somebody can give him. When a grown-up cries, what can he do? You are crying for happiness. How long shall you look for it in a small little things? A time you find your fulfillment for yourself. That is where comes self-awareness. Absolutely fulfilling, thrilling. Acharati atmanasreya tato yati param gatim. Therefore, tataha, thereafter, param gatim goes into the infinite absolute, that is himself, which is param, desha kala vastu parichita sunyam, which has no limitations of time, place, objectivity. You are happy here, there, everywhere, now, then, all times. There is no limitations of time, space, and objectivity. Happy at all times, all places, under all circumstances. Immortal, absolute. Paragati, never you return from that. At no time you ever lose sight of yourself. How do I know this? Read the last two verses. Yassastra vidhimusrujya vartate kamakaratah nasa siddhim avapnoti nasukham na param gatim tasmat shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavasthito Gyantva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharasi Yashastra Vidhimusrujya Vartate Kamakaratah Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Nasukham na param gatim tasmat shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavasthito gyatva shastra vidhanoktam karmam kartumiharasi. Say, how do I know these things? Tasmat shastram pramanam te. Shastram pramanam. Shastra. Don't say shastra. In English, when you say scripture, immediately it gains a religious connotation. Because scripture means a religious connotation. Shastra is not religious connotation. Understand? The moment you translate shastram and scripture. Scripture in English is different from book, ordinary book. This is a shastra, means a book. You don't make anything holy or unholy. There is no holy book, unholy book. Shastra is that anadhigata, avadhita, jnana janakam shastram. That is why everything is shastra in Sanskrit. Ganita shastram. Are you getting that? Darsana shastram. So, but when the moment in English you translate shastra, the scripture, then it has a holy book, unholy book. That becomes a mistake. There is no holy book. Vedas, Upanishads, because you have been talking scripture, 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 so we think holy book, unholy book and all these terms you are thinking of it. Understand? Please. Scripture, when it says Shastra, anadhigata, avadhita, jnanajanakam shastram. That we shall call as the Shastra, one which gives you the knowledge of the Absolute. Anadhigata, what type of knowledge it should give us? Anadhigata avadhita jnanam. Gives me a knowledge which I cannot get from any other source. And once I get it, it is not subject to loss on verification at any time. This is where, like other shastras, the other books are there which gives you knowledge. Like relative knowledge they can give you. Whereas, when you call about the Shastra, Vedas, Upanishads, other things, they give you one knowledge which nobody else can give. Just like physics book will give you the knowledge of physics, not chemistry. Chemistry will give you chemistry knowledge, not mathematics. Mathematics will give mathematics, not geography. Each one is a Shastra. That gives you a knowledge of particular something which you cannot get from any other source. Then what about the Vedas, Upanishads? That also is a Shastra. Is a part of your life. When the other books, Dharma Shastras, whereas Jnana Kanda, Karma Kanda is there, when other books gives you the knowledge about the relative world, this book gives you the knowledge of the Absolute. In you, there are both the identities are there. You have got a relative identity, absolute identity. Relative identity is in relation to which you consider yourself something else. In relation to body, man or woman. In relation to body, young or old. In relation to rich, riches. In relation to physics, physicist. In the mathematics, mathematician, I taking so many roles, relative roles. So when you go on reading these books, they shall inevitably confer in you a relative identity, which means limitation, which means suffering. You cannot escape. Whereas Upanishads, Vedas, when you study, it is also a book, but it gives you a knowledge of something which should not be subject to cancellation. Relative identity is subject to change and cancellation. You can change your line. From physics, you become previously a physicist, now you are a chemistry professor. Previously you are a lawyer, now you are a singer or a dancer or maybe a mathematician. Whereas you cannot, when absolute identity, you can say, today I am truth, tomorrow I am falsehood. It doesn't exist. Always the same, absolute identity you get. Avadhita jnana janakam gives you a knowledge which is not subject to cancellation on verification. Shastra. If you want to say scripture, okay, fine, doesn't matter. But this scripture, understand, is not an authoritative book. Please understand. Because in English, that language, you know what happens? Scripture, na, authority. No. This is not an authoritative book. What happens is, just like, because of the geography book, Australia as a continent doesn't exist. Because Australia exists, book talks about it. So in the existence of the continent, book is not authority. Because the place is there, book writes about it. Are you getting that point, please? In the existence of stars, the cosmology is not authority. Because the stars, constellations exist, the cosmology talks about it. Because of the physiology book, you don't have a heart or a kidney. Because you have a heart or kidney, the book talks about it. So book is not authority, neither the person, neither the professor. Same thing about yourself. Scriptures are not the authority, that you must unquestioned obligation. No. I am infinity, not because book says so. Because I am infinity, book talks about it. I am free, not because the teacher says so. Because I am free, the teacher talks about it. So suddenly, there is no authoritarian religion, no authoritarianism, that this is the book you must believe, this is the man you must get lost. You can challenge everything. You can challenge the scripture. That is why Krishna in Gita itself, it tells very clearly to Arjuna, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. Hey Arjuna, may you know this knowledge? Pranipatena, by surrendering to the teacher, going to a teacher, pariprasna, questioning him thoroughly. Pariprasna, question the teacher, question the scripture, question the book, question everything. Then get this knowledge. If you have one little doubt, don't be kind to the teacher or the book. Tear it apart. See whether it can tear your doubt apart. If it leaves a doubt, you don't respect it. Why? A stupid book. I can't believe in that nonsense. Does it appeal to my intelligence, rational mind? Scripture says, Shastra Pramana. When the Shastra says, so it's a book which talks about yourself. So you don't have to go with an attitude of, whatever the scripture says, I shall believe. No, you don't have to believe. Don't be so accommodative. You don't have to be absolutely accommodative about somebody's mistake. Just because somebody is a big man, shall you swallow the offense? First you say this person is big, then you try to find out a mistake. It doesn't work. First you analyze. So you look at this book, Shastra Pramana, that which gives me a knowledge of something which nobody else can give. That is why once you come to this knowledge, you don't go back to problems anymore. If you want problems in life, if you want a little misery in life, don't come to scripture. Because once you come, understand these things, you shall be incapable of being miserable. That is the trouble. Just like smallpox virus is completely gone. They have kept it in the somewhere in a laboratory as a sample so that no extinction of species. Tomorrow they may discover something better about, something very benign about that virus. They can release it, no problem. Like that. Don't forget your misery and other things. Keep it as a sample somewhere inside. But be happy. Happiness is the truth of life. A little sample of misery, that's okay. That's all right. You should not forget it, it should be there. If you forget, you will not believe the other person is miserable, no? So to recognize other person's misery, you must have little misery inside you. Somewhere tucked in, so that you can remember, oh, misery also exists as part of life. Okay? Anyway, so Shastra Pramanam, the Karya Vyavastha, what is to be done, not to be done, you should do that. Whereas, if you do not do that, Shastra Viddhim Usrujya Vartate Kamakarata, Yaha, whoever he may be, Shastra Viddhim Usrujya, without following this Shastra, following these books, where it is clearly given out whoever you are, whatever you are, without knowing this, Kamakarata Vartate, is I can know it by myself. I don't need any scripture, I don't need any book, I can do it by myself. You shall have Nasavin Siddhim Avapnoti, you shall never ever understand yourself. Can you say that? Oh, how do I know that I will not understand myself? Simple. Please appreciate. Ask yourself a question. Is there anything, please think, we'll see more elaborately in the beginners courses. Is there anything in your life which you have learned all by yourself? Name one thing. Name one thing which you have learnt all by yourself. Suppose you say, oh, but I learnt a language all by myself. How? Listening to the cassette, and then how all by yourself? I learned by myself. I didn't need a teacher, but the book was the teacher. Listen. Anything you can learn by yourself. The first language. Did you pick up your... Suppose everybody has to pick up a language. He has to create a language and speak that language. Nobody will understand nobody. So the first language you are talking, father, mother, appa, amma, any language you speak, somebody teaches you. From one language you can go to 10 different languages. About your identity. You are my son, you are my daughter, you are my child, he is your father, he is your mother, she is your mother. Wow. All these things have to be taught. If every identity you have picked up, now how come you are so comfortable with the identity given to you? Many things they say, don't tell a lie or don't drink. As you are growing up, what do? You challenge it. Why can't I drink? I am not grown up. Why can't I drink? All right. They have told me I am limited. How can I say I am limited? Just because they say I am limited, I am limited. No, I want to know who am I. Have you ever questioned? No. Only if the mummy said, don't drink, I must drink. That defiance is growing up. What nonsense. Defy everything. Defy your own identity. Whoever has given me a limited identity, that also I don't want to take. By chance you don't do that. Kamakarata. As you if you live as you like, Nasa siddhim avapnoti. You shall never ever accomplish anything in life. Even if you have accomplishment, that will not take away the emptiness, the void from within, because you are not aware of himself. Tasmat, when you don't siddhim avapnoti, purusartha yogyadam avapnoti, you don't get anything in life. Tasmat, na sukham, na paragati. Neither you get the happiness in life, nor you reach the supreme goal, the happiness, the absolute that you are, immortality that you are. Therefore, Shastram Pramanamte. May you take the Shastra as the Praman. Read this book. Going to a teacher, when you see these things, as I told you, you are who you are, not because scripture says so or teacher says so. Because who you are, teacher reveals it. Therefore, that type of teaching, where the teacher is not replacing somebody else in your life. The scripture is not replacing something else. The faith is not replacing something else. Where you, if you depend on a faith, depend on a teacher, depend on a scripture, you shall remain miserable for the rest of your life. I am happiness. Why? Because I am the happiness. I am free because I am the freedom itself. That knowledge you get. Shastra pramana gyantva. Having known the Shastra vidhana uktam, karma kartumarasi. Shastra vidhanam karmam gyantva, knowing what the scripture says, what the teacher says, you appreciate yourself, then you continue to live your life. Now when you know, if you think, I am the body, your attitude will be, I am afraid of death. If I say I am the body, afraid of old age, afraid of every change. If you say I am immortal, absolute, abhayam sattva samsiddhi, absolute fearlessness, living with the body for some time. So both the standpoints you see clearly. Be the changeless, enjoy the changes. Be the deathless, live with the life and death. It becomes an amazing celebration every moment of your life. Therefore, what shall you do? Know yourself. Okay? We shall see now. With that, it comes to an end. Om iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga Nama Shodasodhyaya hai. So thus comes to in the 16th chapter, which it talked about the genuine and the fake, the divine and the demonic. I am not very comfortable with those words because in reality none of these divisions are there. Everything is divine, everything is glorious, everything is infinite. But from the relative standpoint, from the ignorant man's standpoint, yes, there seems to be a suffering, there seems to be a release. Therefore, we see these dispositions in human beings to explain it to us. It talks about, the explanation is not to give a sanction to weakness, but to help the person understand the weakness and be the strength that is himself. Okay, with this it comes to an end. Thank you, and we shall see more of it sometimes tomorrow. I'll let you know. But just close your eyes, please.